Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. Pod Up, because we are Gator fans. So say it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning and welcome to a Tuesday edition of Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to care. It's Tuesday. You know what that means. We've got the good old Buddy Martin from the Buddy Martin Show. You can listen to Buddy every Monday through Thursday night on Facebook Live about 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And got a lot to talk about with him today. I want to get his thoughts on the new basketball coach. Obviously, I think the press conference is tomorrow. Yeah. Good morning, buddy. You're on the Titan and More hotline. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning, Shane. How are you? I think I probably owe you an apology for last night. Hope I wasn't rude. We were having a discussion. A very good one, I might add. Buddy,
I've been booed by hundreds of thousands of people. I've been cussed and thrown visors at. Nothing bothers me, buddy.
So I'm nothing then. Okay.
You're nothing. Hey, okay. It goes like I told people when I played for Coach Spurrier and my dad. And it started with my dad. You got to let it go in one ear and out the other ear and just listen to just a little bit of it.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, we had a good discussion. And I want to correct one thing, the impression, if I gave it to you last night. We talked about Todd Golden. They got to stop using that golden era. I'll tell you about that later. But I don't know about this guy. I hear everybody, what they're saying, most everybody, and I respect your opinion on college basketball because I know you're a hoop junkie, and I know you follow this stuff. You knew all about Mike White before he got here, and you know about Todd Golden, and I've not seen his teams play, but you tell me there's a point guard that played for San Francisco. It was crazy good, and I'm going to be upbeat. I'm just trying to sort of redefine the mission about this thing, Shane. Look, we're in the media, but we both have orange and blue blood, okay? We went to school, got degrees there, and even I toiled on the athletic field a little bit, not like at your level. So we're stakeholders, and, you know, so we got to have a watchful eye about what happens to this program, take off our hats as right now as medium people or even Gators and say, what is this program about and what is it trying to be and who is going to be watching and keeping the flame?
Yeah, I like the Todd Golden hire. I love the Mike White hire too. What I hope doesn't happen is they both were point guards. Mike White at Ole Miss, Todd Golden at St. Mary's. But Mike White never ran what he ran to get the head job. His offense and his philosophy changed for whatever reason when he came to the SEC because they were full court, fast tempo, up and down, pressing, and it was fun to watch. That's why I was excited. So I don't know what changed. I don't think Todd Golden's going to be that way. I think he's going to do what he does because he's very analytical. So it's going to be interesting. I did say on your show, and I've said this on mine as well, we're going to have an international flavor, I think, brought into our program. He's been around that out there on the West Coast in that conference he's in with Gonzaga and stuff. And there's a lot of good players that can come over here and you can make your team pretty good pretty quickly. So I'm with you. I understand there's some people that are excited about it, some kind of waiting to see. But he's young, energetic. He does it kind of how Billy Napier does it with analytics and things of that nature. So that's the way basketball coaches are now. I think all coaches are like that now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it will be interesting. But no, you have your opinion. We have ours. But it should be fun to watch. We got a couple of Facebook Lives here, buddy, I want to get to real quick. Joseph says, for a school that's all about integrity, the Golden hire is surprising consider who he's been mentored by. But I like that. I did think the same thing, Joseph, but obviously he was only there for 2 years under Bruce Pearl. He played for Bruce Pearl over in Israel, I believe.
Right.
So that's where that connection comes from.
That's exactly what I wanted to talk about. So go ahead. That's the point I wanted to make. Go ahead.
All right, bring it up. What you got?
No, I just want to say, as we move to phase 2 for Scott Strickland, phase 2 for, I guess, or 3 for Billy Napier, whatever, and now soon to be phase 2 for Todd Golden. We got to say this: Scott Strickland's on the clock here.
Yeah,
he's got to get this right, and so, like I said, as keepers of the flame at Florida, and we'll a lot of coaches have come and gone here. I've been around here a lot of time. I'm still here, and you've been around for a while. We're going to be here hopefully a while. I think it's important for us to redefine the mission, and I think you said it the other day. And I think the goal is of who we are trying to be, who Florida's trying to be, and we as the stakeholders have to say, what is it? Win with integrity at a high level in an environment of athletic excellence. I think that's important, and you want to try to win championships. So let me just go back a little bit here and say I've seen this movie a bunch of times, and I can go back as far as you want to go in terms of coaches. But remember the time Florida almost had the death sentence, and you came in right after it because Charlie Pill, who, by the way, I liked, who was a really good football coach and did a lot to help the program. Unfortunately, what happened to Charlie, I know a little bit about it. He has to take all the blame for all those infractions. There were a couple of renegade coaches on staff, and also a really brilliant young coach named Mike Shanahan. And Mike Shanahan told me this, is that he got himself sideways, a couple of renegade guys who did some crazy stuff and got Florida in trouble, and they got, but it brought us Steve Spurrier, so I guess that's good. So keep in mind and give Jeremy Foley credit for this, and I'll get off my soapbox here. He came in as the young ticket manager, took over the job that Bill Arnsparger had, who, by the way, was a mole for the NCAA, just so you know. He's the one who blew the whistle on everybody. I can tell you more about that some other time. So Jeremy Foley said, okay, like Jeremy, hate Jeremy, whatever you want to do. He drew a line in the sand and says, we will not cheat. We will not. Everything's got to be scrutinized. And that's a standard that he and others set. And along came Steve Spurrier and won a national championship, and Urban Meyer won 2 national, and Senator Billy won 2, on that basis. And we talk about heritage of Florida. That's the Florida that I'd like to see it become. And so if there's any doubt about that, I want to go back and say again, win with integrity. And the caller or listener, the person you just read, whoever that was, brought up a hint of something. I'm not saying anything at all bad about Todd Golden. I don't know enough about Todd Golden. But you look at where people come from. You look at what they've done and their track record and and I got to say, the gold standard is Steve Spurrier. I mean, he didn't cheat. You know that in anything, ever, and wouldn't. But let's see. I'll be honest, Bruce Pearl's got a little poopy dust on him, just a little bit, okay? We'll see if that's influenced Todd Golden or not. Probably not, but I just want to bring it up. Always start right there. So I didn't mean to preach. I feel strongly about that. I know you do too.
Yeah, I'm not concerned. I know they looked into it. I mean, you could sit here and say, the coaches that Billy Napier's been under, they haven't actually been caught doing anything, but we all know stuff goes on, if you know what I'm saying. Buddy, we got a couple of Cliff ask here on Facebook Live. He says, buddy, it's brought to you by Melon Law. He says, what is your take on the retirement of Gene Deckerhoff?
Interesting. Boy, there's an underrated guy. He did it for a long time at a high level. And he not only did he broadcast Seminole games and Bucks games, but on the same weekend. He told me a story one time about all the things he had to do to get from one point to the other, just to get there and broadcast. And he's obviously a Hall of Famer. He's the guy with the voice of Seminoles for all those years. I think Gene Deckerhoff is to be saluted, honored, and I have great respect for him.
Is he going to do this year, or is he already done?
I don't know. I think he might be done. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Maybe we get a
All right,
Seminole. Who's we don't have any Seminole friends.
Well, we have people that follow that kind of stuff. I'm sure they'll let us know here. I didn't know if this was he announced his retirement like one more year with the Bucs.
Maybe it's one more year. I don't know. I hope it is. And boy, again, what a run he's called Super Bowls and national championship games, and just a class guy, by the way. So
yeah. Chris says here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon. Do you think the spring game will be highly attended? I won't be able to go this year because it's on a Thursday night. What do you think about that, buddy?
I think it's a really good move. Not everybody's going to like it. I think, number one, what it did, it brought the students back into it. Because you were about to have a game on Easter weekend and spring break where the kids are not going to be there. They're going to be on the beach. I don't blame them. And by having it at night, it brings out a really good environment in the swamp. You get a chance to see them in the swamp. I think it was a good move. I don't know about attendance. If you ain't go, you can start to watch on TV. I'm guessing it's usually pretty good the first year of a coach. So I'm going to just have an over-under. What should we have the over-under at? 25,000?
I go over.
You go, what should we have? Should we have it at 30?
35,000 would I say?
35, over-under. I'm going to go 30, so we'll split the difference. So we'll say over-under. So I'm going to think, I'm going to say,
I think they're going to have probably 2,000 just in recruits and their mamas and daddies.
Yeah, that's true. Boy,
that's the reason.
Okay, I'll go with the 35. We'll make it out. All right.
Yeah, it should be fun though, regardless. Dan asked here, I guess he's asking you, buddy, this on Facebook Live. Does Florida get rid of Strickland if these hires are a bust?
Well, I mean, you got to think about it. You got to think about it. What's good for everybody else is good for him, right? It has nothing to do with whether or not we like him, which I do, by the way. I'm not sure we got off on a great foot, but I think he never got over the fact that I ambushed him at the airport that night. But when I was trying to find out what was going on with the coach named, what was that guy's name, Dan Mullen, when he came here, I think he has to be held accountable. You can look at all the other stuff, look at the programs. They've got great programs there where Jeremy Foley built. And he's fed into those. And you can talk about all those championships, but if you don't get it right in football and basketball, you're gone. So let's see. I think you got a good football heart based, again, on what I think I know at this point. I have no idea about Todd Golden. We'll see.
Yeah. So Cliff tells us the spring game will be Deckerhoff's last game.
Okay. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird way to go out.
Really
calling
is.
A spring game.
Yeah, really.
But yeah, he's a Gator grad, believe it or not.
Yes, he is.
Calling for the semis. All right, but before we get back to some Gator stuff, let me talk about Ruse Ogre State Farm Office. They're a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. They offer auto, home, life, and health insurance. Check them out at ogreinsurance.com. Or give them a call, 352-240-1779. Speaking with Buddy Martin here on the Titan More Hotline. John's got a couple of questions we'll get back to the Gators. This is outside the Gators. He says, a couple of non-Gator questions. What do y'all think of the report that Urban didn't know who Aaron Donald was? What about Matt Ryan to Indy? That leaves Felipe as the man at the Falcons for now. Falcons will sign a quarterback. I don't know who. I thought it was Marcus Mariota. Maybe they're talking about signing him.
I read that last night. Somebody signed Marcus. That must have been them, was it?
Yeah, I think it's
your deal.
I absolutely think look out for the Indianapolis Colts now. I think Matt Ryan is a legitimate stud, and that team is loaded at all the positions that are crucial. Now, I do think they need to add some wide receivers. I think they got T.Y. Hilton and a couple guys that you don't know of. They got probably the best running back in the league. They got the best offensive line in the league. They play good, solid defense. And Matt Ryan can flat out throw the football. So I think you better look out for the Colts. You heard all that stuff going on yesterday all over Twitter about Urban, right, buddy?
Yeah, I read the story. I read the story and I saw it. And I'm going to tell you up front, I'm a friend of Urban. So, I try to be objective, but some of that stuff was going to come out. I knew it was. You knew it was. Look, if you've ever been inside a football program, you know some of that stuff. Look, Bobby Bowden could remember half the people's names. Okay? It was own players. Does that make him a bad person? I don't make a big deal of the fact that he probably at that point didn't connect with Aaron Donald. He hasn't been in the NFL that long. He made some mistakes, and he's paying for them. But there's going to be, you knew a trash job was coming. You knew a hit job was coming. So, you got to take it. He's taking the shots because he messed up and he didn't win. He was in an environment. And I'll give you my quick summary here, and I'm not going to go into the soapbox again. But it was a new environment Urban got into, and he likes to own everything he does, and actually likes to really know about it. He saw a lot of advice. He studied for a year. He talked to Jimmy Johnson, a lot of people. Game has changed. You can't be the kind of coach that Woody Hayden was today, even in the NFL. You can't kick guys or whatever you call it. Shane, you've seen things in practice that people knew that you'd say, my gosh, how can you let that go? That's terrible. You heard talk. You've seen coaches do stupid things. Every program's got it. Urban didn't do it right. And he got hammered for it, lost his job, and now he has to sort of rebuild. He'll be fine. He'll be fine because, number one, they're making a big movie, Netflix is, like the Michael Jordan, the dance, the Last Dance. They're doing something on Gator football. I don't think it's been announced yet. And Netflix is doing it, not the University of Florida. They're going to make a big deal out of it, with which Urban was there and won 2 national championships in 3 years. Let's don't forget that, all right? Now, the story came out, okay, it was not very good, but I didn't see anything in there where he stole the lunch money or whether he slept with 8 women at one time. I mean, there's all kinds of things that go on like that. I saw the story. I didn't think it was that big a deal, but, think of what you will. And when you do wrong and things happen, you have to take whatever they dish at you. And like you said, it's coming in one ear and out the other. But look for some big news from Urban in the next couple of months.
Dan says back to Gene Deckerhoff that he saw that he will fulfill his contract with the Bucks. So I guess he's got one more year with them. So that's good.
By the way, Dan's got a story coming out on softball. Dan's writing for Gator Bait. He's got a piece on the Gator fans who travel all the way out to Texas, the sort of the groupies for the softball team, which I know you and Tim Walter are buds. And you keep up with it. And Dan's a huge fan. He lives in Texas and he follows them. So look forward this weekend to get everybody reading that.
Yep. Andy asked, Shane, are you picking Indy over Buffalo? No. I think the Colts just got a whole lot better, though. But no, Buffalo is still my Super Bowl pick for next year.
Hey, what's up with all these quarterbacks, man? It's musical chairs. Everybody's leaving, going different booths. Where's Baker Mayfield going to go? I mean, I can't keep up, Shane. It's too much. Too many changes.
I can't either, but I don't know if I can ever remember the NFL having so many crazy moves as they've had this year in the offseason. It just seems like it's more. So we'll see. All right, buddy, real quick. You know how I feel about this. And I just think first of all, I had James Bates on my show yesterday, and we raised hell about this dumbass stuff going on with the male swimmer against all the female swimmers.
Okay.
Taking away their All-Americans. The NCAA's got to do something about it. Yeah. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the NCAA's got to do something about the name, image, and likeness. Did you see about the kid that's still in high school, the quarterback out of California? I don't know how to pronounce his name. That's committed to Tennessee and supposedly has a $7 million deal.
You'll never be able to pronounce that name, I can tell you. I just read that.
First of all, I don't think he'll ever suit up for Tennessee.
Really?
And I still don't believe he's going to get that money. I don't believe it.
But you never believe they were going to make any money, but you're wrong about that.
Has anybody proven that these guys, like the kid from Ohio State that left school early and went to Ohio State, now he's left, and I think he's at A&M or Texas. Has anybody actually shown a contract that this guy got $3 million? It's all hearsay. Now, like I told you, I have no problem with what the Gator collect. I think it's outstanding what they're doing. All the other schools have things like that. Now, what A&M did for their recruiting class is absolutely ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But
Texas.
I want somebody to actually prove, or I want some parent or somebody that I know say, yeah, I know for a fact this player X is getting $100,000. Because I have friends that are close to programs at Texas, All-Americans at Texas, have kids on that team, have kids on the team at Alabama. And they're asked. We talk about it all the time. But regardless of that, I think it is just total nonsense that this kid, who has yet to take a snap in collegiate football, will be making more money than a lot of the starting quarterbacks in the National Football League. How is that right?
Well, Shane, look, it's a good question. I hear what you're saying. You have been a get off my lawn guy about this as it started. You refuse to believe they're going to make any money. You say it would never happen. They don't have to show their bank accounts, okay? I know what I do know. This is not a big deal. I know Anthony Richardson's got a new car from Gainesville Dodge, okay?
Right. I have zero problem with that. I mean, because that's just that's a tax write-off for Gainesville Dodge. I have no problem with that. I just don't, buddy. It's, again, I ask you, Gatorbait Media.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Gatorbait Media had $10 million sitting here in your advertising budget.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any player in college football? I'm not just saying the state of Florida. Well, we probably, since it's Gatorbait, we probably need to say Gators.
Yeah, I would say.
Is there any player that you're going to give $2 or $3 million to wear a Gatorbait hat?
Well, here's the thing about it. You got to remember, the market sets itself. It's a free market. Whatever he can get is what he's worth. And, you know,
but they're not worth it. That's my point. You're going to sit here and try to tell me.
That's what you say.
Well, they're a bunch of dumbasses giving a kid that is playing high school football.
Well, if they're selling cars by doing it, I mean, you don't know. I don't know the marketing side of that well enough. And I'm not saying that Gator Collective does everything right. I like what they're doing, by the way. They're having Judd Fabian was on our show Thursday night with Gator Collective. He, of course, is part of the me being a homer. The Ocala Power Company, 3 guys from Ocala who were the power hitters. They had a day yesterday. I didn't go to it. There in Gainesville, they sold stuff. They got merchandise. I mean, look, do I think it's quirky? Yeah. Am I against it? No. Do I think it will ruin college football? No. Do I think there's going to be some adjustments that need to be made? Yes. Are you expecting the NCAA to do anything? No. They're
going to have to, though.
They're not.
They're going to have to.
They can't even put it on the damn football tournament. I mean, you know, they can't. They're incapable of doing this stuff. So if you're counting on them to be the cosmic cop up there, they aren't going to do it. So let's face the reality of that and say, look, how are you going to govern this? I don't know. Maybe the individual conferences or the Power Fives are going to form a group and do something about it. I don't know the answer. I know it's damn sure not get somebody in the government to do it. So I don't know what the answer to that. Say it is what it is, you know. And and I know there've always been some little perks for athletes, especially football players. No matter how small, drink free beer, go to the movie, whatever. There's always been out there. Like to what Jimbo Fisher said, in a way, it's true. There always has been sort of that going on. But do I think it's a evil? No, I don't. Do I think it's gotten out of hand? I do. And do I have any information about what they're really making? I do not.
Yeah,
so I failed on that
I don't
part.
want you or people to misunderstand what I'm saying. I think the Gator Collective, what they're doing is outstanding. But that is not what we're talking about here when we're talking about what happened in Tennessee.
I get it. Yeah. I get it.
And like Dan says on Facebook Live, why give high school kids millions? They've done nothing. And they may never do nothing. I mean, think about the 4 and 5 stars that now there's few and far between that go to schools that never pan out. We've had plenty here at Florida that never played it down. You give them guys all that money and they never play. Lauren says he wants to know, did the company make good on paying the tuition for the walk-ons at BYU? We don't know, Lauren. I mean, we hear about it.
Yeah,
I mean, hell, we could say Gatorbait's going to do something, and you probably don't even have to follow through with it, is what I'm saying.
Let's get it out there. Put it right now. Give everybody free ice cream.
Tell them you're going to give them all $20 million. We'll just put it out there, and then think about all the great publicity you would get, buddy Mark.
Yeah. Well, I hope these parents and these kids are not going to a place just because of the money.
Oh, they are.
Well, maybe some are. Yes, there's some of them mercenaries, but it is, you get into it, what you get out. That's why I said, going back to what we talked about earlier before about what we're trying to do here as stakeholders in Florida, which is to help nurture this program with integrity and academic excellence and whatever. And yeah, Let them make some cash. I don't know how to govern it. I don't know how the free market sets it. I just know it's here, and you better recognize it because you'll get left at the altar if you don't. You've got to comply. This is the rules of engagement. So I don't know the answer. I just know it's here.
On Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law, Andrew says, Todd Golden's a terrible hire, but that's Scott Strickland for you. Fire Todd Golden. Now, Andrew, do you know anything about Todd Golden? Who would you hire is my question. I would like to have some. I'd like to see some names.
See, I'm with you on that part. I don't like that any more than the ones who want to run Mike White off without having any real knowledge, except they think they like the way you ran his defense or something. I mean, you know, the so-called, I used to call them sidewalk experts, you know, people who are the peanut gallery who have opinions because they have 20 followers on Twitter. You welcome, come on your show, my show, and give an opinion. We're fine. We don't agree. Don't make a stupid mistake. That makes you look stupid.
Yeah, very dumb. Jeff says it's just rich boosters that are paying so their school will win. There's no expectation for economic value in return. Maybe so. But my point is, you don't know if the guy can complete a pass.
Well, they got a pretty good idea he can complete a pass.
Buddy. But think about it. Do you remember? Just think about this. And nothing against him. Do you know Coach Spurrier had 2 times when in his 12 years here, he signed the #1 quarterback in America.
Mm-hmm. Brock Berlin. Mm-hmm.
Who turned out to be a decent player for Miami.
Played at Miami, yeah.
Bobby Sablehouse was the #1 quarterback in America.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Nothing against Bobby Sablehouse, great guy. He never took a snap for the Florida Gators. Okay. There's been plenty of kids. I totally disagree with the nonsense of giving millions of dollars to kids that have not played a snap in college football. Okay. I just disagree with it.
I get you, and I hear you, and I understand how you feel. But here's what I want to say. When you give a kid a scholarship worth whatever number you want to put on it, 50,000, I don't know what it is.
A scholarship is about $250,000.
Okay, well then whatever that is, well you're investing money in them. You're investing in them.
But they're going to school. That money is allocated through your university already. You're not going outside.
And where does the university get it from? I mean, they get it from the rich boosters too. So there you go.
Well, they got endowments and things of that nature, but I don't know. I just because everybody is getting the same scholarship too. Your left tackle, your quarterback's getting the same scholarship.
Although Coach Spurrier's famous line was, he found out the scholarships Alabama was giving out were worth more than the ones that Florida gave out.
Well, just like I said a few minutes ago. There are teams out there that have been doing that for a long year. David says on the transgender situation, should we just get rid of all 6 different differentiations and let the best athletes compete? Although I will pay to see Lauren Meadows compete on the uneven bars. Speaking of that, we got a text on the Titan MR text line. It came from, where'd it go? From Bayshore on YouTube. He says, thank you for inviting James Bates to your program yesterday. My wife and I appreciated Bates' frank and insightful comments and observations. Yeah, Bates is not happy. The swim community is not happy, buddy.
Yeah.
At all.
Pat Forty.
I don't blame him one bit.
I get it. I wouldn't be happy either if my kid was swimming. And I don't know the answer. Look, there's some things
It's a simple answer. That's a simple. That might be the easiest problem to solve for the NCAA.
And how would that be?
That male cannot swim against the females.
Okay, if it was that easy, it would be done. But it's not that easy.
I believe if Bates told us correctly, and I understood him correctly.
I love Bates, by the way. I think he knows the stuff.
He said that I think with like Olympic trials, world trials, all those other things that the swimmers do.
Yeah,
their season never ends. The collegiate season has ended.
Right.
They're not that Leah Thomas, I think that's her name.
Yeah,
she's not allowed to compete in those events. It's only the NCAA.
Okay,
so that's what I'm saying. The NCAA, it's a simple fix.
Yeah,
and
adopt the Olympic standard.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a problem. A lot of people are upset about it. I can understand. I don't know the answer.
Well, I have my answer, but that's my opinion, and I think majority of the world agrees with me on that.
Well, let me ask you about this, Shane. How about Mickelson not playing in the Masters?
Well, I was going to ask you that, buddy. They're not letting him play, correct?
Who is they? No, I don't think that's the case. I don't know.
I want to say Augusta National or the PGA Tour said he wasn't allowed.
Well, the PGA Tour didn't have that right.
Well, I think it's Augusta National then.
No, I don't think that. I've not heard that.
What did you read?
I just heard he wasn't playing. I don't know, but I know that the PGA. Remember this: Augusta sets their own rules.
I wanted to bring that up to you, buddy, because I thought I ran across it that it wasn't that Mickelson. It wasn't his choice. Because
I've not seen that anywhere.
Okay. I may have read it wrong, but I was going to ask you, why weren't they allowing him?
I could have missed it. It might be wrong, but as far, I just go by the fact that Augusta has their own set of rules. And I don't know, and maybe they would say no, but it's an invitation. It's an invitational. Man. You qualify, they have to let you play, and this is your bond, your band in the tour. But Augusta, they got their own set of rules. So, I'm just really surprised at how that happened. I know that Phil made a mistake, and he's going to pay for it, and he made a bad one. It's just a shame to see a guy of his popularity, former champion, not playing in Augusta because of. I hope it's not because there was any deal he and Greg Norman cut with the Saudis. So something fishy still going on there, with that deal. So I don't know. I just hate to see it in the game of golf, which I love and you do too.
Yeah, but boy, I tell you what, these young guns are taking over the PGA.
I love Sam Burns. Don't you like Sam Burns? I think
yeah. How about this tournament this past weekend? The Davis Riley kid is from Mississippi. Yeah. He went and played his golf at Alabama. Sam Burns is the LSU Tiger. The other kid, Neesmith, played at South Carolina. Right. And then you had Justin Thomas, who's an Alabama grad. So,
and all the Georgia guys are dominating out there too. The young Georgia guys. What happened to the Florida guys? Used to be the the Gators that were out there.
We only really have one that competes on tour right now. That's Billy Horschel.
Yeah.
So okay. Chris says if Augusta or PGA isn't letting him play, that is a mistake. Phil's comments on Saudi was factual. Okay. I'm gonna look when this show's over. I'm gonna look into that because let me
know because I'll get it on my show tonight.
Okay.
And tonight we're going to talk about Dan. We're going to talk about the old QB.
Whatever happened. I want to bring up spring football before I let you go, and I kept you longer than normal. I apologize, but I went to spring football practice Saturday. I've never seen that many recruits at a practice at the University of Florida ever. Yeah, and
big recruiting week.
It was almost too crowded, quite honestly, to tell you the truth. But practices are like night and day compared to what we've had in the last few years. Mm-hmm. Now, will that translate to wins? We'll see. But you can see how accountability, all the discipline, all that stuff is being factored in right now.
You can feel it and see it. You can.
Which is crucial for this football program.
I agree.
So, we'll see. We're a long ways away. The roster has a lot. We need speed. I just watch us. We do not look like a fast football team right now. We ain't gonna get any faster for next year. We got to go find fast dudes. But I think Coach Napier and his staff have done a tremendous job in the short period of time they've been here. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, I am too. And I was out there, as you know, last week and did a column on Anthony Richardson. Surprised that 48 hours later, Emory Jones bailed, whatever the reason is. And so you got your two guys. We talked about it in my show last night. Jack Miller looks like he does some good things. You like him in his style. I think Anthony Richardson is going to have a huge year if he stays healthy. And I think what he'll be able to do, and talking to Anthony, we played a clip for last night. He really likes Billy Napier and the way he handles this offense. And Billy also said that Anthony's absorbed things surprisingly well, which, as you know, was part of the problem last year. He couldn't grasp the offense. Every time he couldn't read the defense, he would tuck it and run, and he's learned not to do that. So I'm anxious to see what kind of quarterback he'll be under Billy Napier in that game. But I want to mention Kyle Trask. Kyle Trask, tonight's the subject of my show. I'm still going to say, I think this guy needs to be recognized by the University of Florida or some organization to give him a Next Man Up award for what he did, because basically he saved the bacon of Dan Mullen for 2 years, and he had fantastic seasons. He waited his turn. He got it. I think there should be a Next Man Up Kyle Pitts award to the Gator who does the same thing every year, and somebody needs to jump on that. Gator Bay will support that idea, because I think we can't forget what Kyle Trask contributed here, and I, for one, will always appreciate it.
We got a couple. David's got a great question here, and I'm going to answer it when we let you go, buddy. But listen to this. He says, Shane, how do you evaluate a QB's ability to read a defense, and how do you teach it? That is the $1 million question.
Yeah.
And I will discuss that when we come back after the break. Buddy, who you got on the show tonight?
Greg Allman of the Tampa Bay Times, talking about that very thing we just discussed. That'll be the main part of it, and we're going to be talking to him. And talking to him about also about we're going to talk about recruiting. We're going to update you on what we know about all the visits, and looking forward to a nice program at 9 o'clock on the Buddy Martin Show.
All right, good stuff as always, buddy. We appreciate your time. Have a good afternoon. And
thanks, Shane.
If I don't get back to you, you may have to do your own homework on Phil Mickelson. I may forget.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you know if I hear anything.
All right, that's Buddy Martin joining us on the
Shane.
Titan MR Hotline. We're going to take a quick time out, come back, get to these Facebook Lives. We got a bunch of good ones. You're watching and listening to Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Doreen Wiebe Realtor, Caldwell Banker MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Aikido America, Style Cuts, Big Mills Cheesesteaks. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit podupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Are you tired of being sidelined by nagging pain? Hi, I'm Emmett Smith, Hall of Famer and Dance with the Stars champion. Happy to tell you about QC Kinetics and their biologic therapies for treating pain without drugs or surgery.
Are you suffering from chronic pain in your hips, knees, shoulder, or lower back? Are you tired of living with arthritis pain? QC Kinetics offers natural pain treatment that can repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints.
Listen, I know pain, and I've seen firsthand how powerful biologic therapies can be. Patients at QC Kinetics rave about their result because they're getting their lives back. They're getting moving again.
These exciting regenerative treatments used to be available only to pro athletes like Emmett. Now they're available to anyone thanks to QC Kinetics. Call today for your free consultation.
Get long-lasting results from my friends at QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics 352-400-4550. In North Central Florida, call 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics 352-400-4550.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Celebration Points where the Gators go to celebrate. For premium brands like Nike, Regal Cinemas, Les Macaron, Bass Pro Shops, International Diamond Center, Prime and Pearl, and the HBC's restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, now serving brunch on Saturdays and Sundays. We'll see you at Celebration Point where the Gators go to celebrate. I want to thank you, buddy, for joining us on the Titan MRI Hotline. Don't forget, whoever wins our bracket challenge, I haven't looked, you'll get a bunch of, like a Spurrier gift bag. We'll get your size for some clothing, things of that nature. So we'll know that, I guess, in a couple of weeks after the national championship game. Back to the Facebook Live brought to you by Mellon Laws. We got a couple good ones here. Brandon asks, how does the wide receiver room look? Hard to tell right now. I'll go back out there hopefully this week or next week. I said last year, calling the games, I felt like we were not a fast football team, not just the wide receivers. I thought across the board, team speed needs to be increased, in my opinion. Whittlemore's got a hammy right now, but I will look closer to that next time I'm out there. David's question: how do you evaluate a QB's ability to read a defense, and how do you teach it? Boy, so basically, reading defenses, a lot of it is about, first of all, you got to understand what defenses are trying to do to you regarding, whether it's cover 3, cover 1, one robber, quarter halves, however your team describes those coverage. Everybody has different calls. You got to understand what everybody's role is in that defense, in that coverage. You also got to know the fronts and the blitzes and things of that nature. But just on the back end, you have to understand the concept of your play of offense, because there's a weakness to every defense. Okay. And so when a play is called, obviously, we're just talking pass plays here, there should be a weakness in that defense. It's the quarterback's job to find that. Now, at the snap of the ball, they can roll, they can change, they can disguise. A lot of things can happen. They can bring a Mike Sam blitz, and you got to throw hot. So you have to know all this stuff in a split second. But pre-snap reads are crucial, and that goes to studying tape and understanding, as I just said, what that defense that has been called, how your formations a lot of times dictate what a defense will do. So, long story, you just mentally, you have to almost eliminate something. People talk about getting your 4th and 5th read. That may happen twice in an entire football game. And it doesn't happen unless it's a Tom Brady or a Peyton Manning. It just doesn't happen, folks. You don't have time to do all that. And guys ain't smart enough to do all that. Your pre-snap read, you almost want to eliminate as you come to the line of scrimmage, or you're at the line of scrimmage before the ball is snapped. You're almost eliminating one side of the field. And then when the ball's snapped, then we're high-low in a guy. So a lot of stuff goes into that. Some coaches can teach it really well. Some players just understand it. Some players never understand it, drop back and look at one guy, and then take off running. So I don't know if I answered your question, but it's a long process. And some guys just understand how to read defenses and some don't. It's just like some guys are accurate and some guys will never be accurate. Sometimes I think you're just blessed with that ability to understand what the defense is trying to do. Chris says, according to the Daily Mail, Phil has to have a conversation with the PGA Tour, Jake Monahan, before he can return to play. Yeah, I think there's some stuff going on there. Chris says, the media is on Mickelson not playing. I think he is banned. If he wasn't banned, the PGA would have released a statement saying, I don't know what's going on. John says, I heard they moved Finley Graham to wide receiver. He can make a nice slot guy. Yeah, I believe he is over there. I'll check him out. I didn't have a roster, and I'll get a roster next time I go out there. Andy said, I think you mentioned anticipation as a key QB attribute. How does that come about? You really can't teach. There's two things this is just my opinion, folks. This ain't John Gruden's opinion. This ain't Mike Shanahan. It's whoever. But it is a lot of Coach Spurrier's opinion, because that's where I learned. Accuracy and anticipation are just things that you're born with. It's just like God blesses people with stronger arms than others. You can do a couple rotator cuff exercises here and there, and it may strengthen your arm just a little bit, but not a whole lot. You either have a strong arm or you don't. So those are just things that you're blessed with. That's just my opinion. At Chris Doring Mortgage, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today, 352-244-0840. And looking at our quarterbacks, our top two quarterbacks, when you look at Anthony Richardson, okay, do I think he's a really good player? Yes. Do I think he's a great quarterback? No. He's a tremendous athlete playing quarterback. Does he have a good arm? Yes, he was blessed with a strong arm, kind of a longer release. Is he accurate? Not at a high level. Can he anticipate? Not at a high level. But what he does is he makes exceptional plays with the fans' love, coaches' love. But where he needs to take that next step, whether he can or cannot, is being more accurate, which I said it's something like I told you, you go watch him practice, he makes 5 beautiful throws, and then 4 over here, you're like, how did he just one hop that flat route or just throw it 10 feet over the guy's head? That's just who he is. There's nothing wrong with that. You can win a lot of games. But when I look at Jack Miller, he's an accurate thrower, very good fundamentals, but he doesn't have that where he's going to take. Well, I've never seen him run, but it takes off and hurdles the guys, things of that nature. So that's just what it is, and that's just what my eyes tell me. Chris asked, does Miller throw a catchable ball? Yes. Neither AR or Emery threw a very catchable ball. Chris, you're exact. I think I watch not just these quarterbacks. I see it at a lot of places where you watch football. Some of these guys want to throw the ball as hard as they want. Makes no damn sense. The object, and this is what I tell young quarterbacks that I work with, the object of playing quarterback is throw completions. It's not how hard I can throw it, showcase my arm talent, and the receiver drop it. You know, nothing. It blows my mind when you hear analysts or people, you throw a slant route and it goes through the guy's hands or off his shoulder pads, and they're like, he should have caught that. No, the damn quarterback threw it too hard. Makes no sense. Deliver the baby. Throw a catchable ball. That's simple. Andy says, speaking of receivers, Shane, who was the most talented receiver you ever played with in the NFL, excluding Dorian, is Marty Booker. Marty Booker was a very good player. I would say in all my years, the teams I was on, Chad Johnson, who at some point became Ocho Cinco, extremely talented. I also had Curtis Conway, and I had Eric Moulds with the Buffalo Bills. Those were I didn't play with a bunch of superstars, but those would be the ones that I would say. Chris says some QBs just throw a ball that lands in the wide receiver hands soft. Yeah, I mean, it's another thing that's given to, you're blessed with, a catchable ball. I threw a very catchable ball. Rex, almost all of Coach Spurrier's quarterbacks threw catchable balls. It's just some guys they throw what they call a heavy ball, and it's just hard as hell to catch for some reason. But it's going to be interesting. I think Coach Napier, being a former quarterback, between Anthony and Jack, be a good battle, good competition. But as I said, Anthony Richardson, if he can stay healthy, will be your quarterback because he can elude the rush. We'll see though. But I don't know what Coach Napier is looking for at that position right now. Cliff says, I would rather have a pure passing quarterback who is accurate, can read a defense, and make quick decisions. Me and you both. It just depends on what the coach is looking for, though. Lauren asked, was Peerless Price in Buffalo? No, he was not. Eric Moulds was the main guy in Buffalo when I was there. So anyway, there you have that. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll have JC on. We'll have our Peachland Dentistry picks. We'll pick basketball as well as golf. But y'all have had some good questions today about the quarterback play. Like I told you, I think this team has a chance to be decent this year, but it's not just the quarterback, folks. This team, this roster has a long ways to go, and the coaches will tell you that. Let's take our second time out, come back, get a few more text messages on the Titan More text line, and wrap up this Tuesday edition.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are MB Listing, McDonald's of Gainesville, My IT Masters, Gainesville Neon and Signs, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Avera and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Ruse Ogra Agent, State Farm Insurance, Silver Q Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios at South State Bank. We understand that small businesses need a community business partner that they can rely on. South State has 4 convenient Alachua County locations. South State Bank, Banking Forward, member FDIC. Again, I want to thank Buddy Martin for joining us on the Titan Mar Hotline. This day in sports brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Temp. Comfort is our business. Peace of mind is our promise. Comfort Temp's now hiring team members with all levels of experience, a $1,000 signing bonus. Give Comfort Temp a call, 352-376-2366. This day in sports in 1969, NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. UCLA beats Purdue 92-72. The Bruins three-peat. Center Lou Alcindor, tournament MVP for the 3rd consecutive year, later became Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I don't know. I can't remember how many they won in a row, but that's brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Temp. They say Brett Favre threw a hard ball, but I'm sure it's considered a heavy. He took some off. What I'm saying is he didn't throw all his slants 100 miles an hour or a flat route or a swing route to the back out of the backfield. Got to have different pitches as a quarterback. Andy says word is that Emory saw AR-15s work during the first couple of practices and determined he had no chance, so back to the portal. That's what I heard. He was transferring no matter what, is what I was told by people close to the program. He was just out there practicing, and then I think he realized, why am I even wasting my time practicing for a team I ain't going to play for? Lauren says, my QB in college threw a heavy ball. Damn. Yep. Should have had a guy that could put a little touch on it, Lauren. Chris asked, have I had a chance to talk with Coach Napier? Yes, I've talked to him a little bit here and there. Love the guy. Really do. Just a down-home, down-to-earth guy that gets it. He definitely gets it. So it's going to take some time, though, folks. It's going to take time. He will have the roster the way he wants it, I think, in year 3. Chris says Peyton threw an ugly ball, but very catchable. Yeah, his ball sometimes wobbled a lot. But, yeah, it was definitely an ugly ball. Anyway, hope you enjoyed today's program. Tell all your friends and family to follow our program, like it on all the different platforms out there. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow, folks.